What's up people, welcome back to the Ditto music channel. My name is Sean Reynolds and today we're talking about the elusive Spotify algorithm and how you can best prepare your music to perform best on Spotify. We're also giving away a Shure SM58, so stick around to the end of this video to find out how you could potentially get your hands on one. Anyway, roll the credits. Now, before we get stuck in, if you're watching this video, the chances are that you make your own music, and if that's the case, you're going to need someone to distribute that music for you to places like Apple Music, TikTok, Instagram, and as we're talking about in today's video, Spotify. Well, allow me to recommend Ditto Music. Not only do you get a 30-day free trial so you can try it before you buy it, you also get to distribute your music to all of the places I've just mentioned, plus a load more, but you can also get access to artist tools like publishing, promotion, sync licensing, and mastering right from your Ditto account. There is also a dedicated Ditto app for you to monitor how your music is performing. I'll leave all the links in the description box below. Anyway, let's get on with the video. Now, all of these streaming platforms have their own algorithms, but Spotify's is split into two main factions. One is their algorithmic playlists, and the other is their editorial playlists. One you could consider to be more AI and computer driven, whereas the other is driven by people, editors. Now, the editorial side of Spotify is widely considered to be a bit more difficult to have success with, and that's probably because, as of 2022, the statistics suggested that 100,000 different songs were uploaded to Spotify every single day. And for a team of actual people, that's going to be almost impossible to get through every single song. Spotify does have its own pitching system where you can pitch your music directly to editors when you're uploading a new track, but even so, your chances of being picked up by the editorial team is pretty low. It's not impossible, but it's pretty low. That's why we have to try our best to appeal to something called the algorithm. And there is a list of things that you can do to best prepare your music and increase your chances of tickling that algorithm in just the right way to push your music out to more people. First though, let's discuss the algorithmic playlists on Spotify. They are Discover Weekly, Release Radar, your daily mixes, and also Spotify Radio, which is slightly different but still run by the algorithm. If your music is lucky enough to land on any of these algorithmic playlists, then it is like gold dust, and it should be there for a period of time. It will definitely boost your numbers and be pushed out to more people. How long your music stays on rotation within these playlists comes down to a few factors. Playthrough rates. This is how many people finish your song versus skipping it. Save rates. Are listeners adding your track to their libraries? And repeat listens. How often are they coming back to your song for more? So I guess the big questions are, how do I get people to not skip my song? How do I get people to save my song? And how do I get people to come back for more? And I can answer all three of these questions with the first 30 seconds are everything. Now, I'm not saying that in the modern day you need to completely change the vision of your music to appease the Spotify algorithm and the robots that control it, but the first 30 seconds of your song should be carefully considered regardless. At the end of the day, with the massive amount of music that is uploaded to these platforms daily, you need to try your best to make your music stand out within those first 30 seconds. Also, fun fact, a stream is only monetized if listeners get past those first 30 seconds, so make them count. However, don't think that you can play the system by uploading a bunch of 30-second songs. As Daniel Ek, CEO of Spotify, says, that's not how the Spotify royalty system works. And unless you want a surefire way of having your music taken down from Spotify completely and potentially being banned from the service, then don't use any bots or fake streams. As you can imagine, Spotify has some pretty sophisticated tools to detect fraudulent activity. Bottom line, those first seconds of your songs are vital to having success on Spotify. Now let's talk about release tips. The algorithm loves artists who release regularly, and regularly doesn't even mean that regularly. Releasing a song every 4 to 6 weeks is recommended to boost your stats on Spotify. Also, if you haven't already, make sure you're signed up to Spotify for Artists. This verifies your artist account and gives you access to loads of customization options on your Spotify profile. You can do this directly by going to artists.spotify.com and claiming your profile from there. Once approved, you can then customize your profile pictures, your banner images, your bio, add some photos, add links to your other social media profiles, and also select artist playlists and artist picks. As I mentioned earlier, this is also where you'll be able to pitch directly to the editorial teams at Spotify. And then as your music gains traction, you will gradually gain access to Spotify's extra promotional features. But a good thing to remember is make sure you've pitched to the editorial teams at least 7 days before your release to give them enough time to set things up if you were selected to be part of their editorial playlists. Another great way of boosting your chances of being added to the Algorithmic playlists is by doing a pre-save campaign for your song, which you can actually do directly from your Ditto Music account. When somebody pre-saves your song, it is automatically added and saved to their Spotify profile as soon as the song drops on release day. Then when all of these pre-save stats hit the algorithm, you've got a much higher chance of triggering those Algorithmic playlists. Now, when you set up a pre-save campaign within your Ditto account, you'll be sent something called a Ditto Smart Link. This is where all of your fans can easily navigate to pre-save links not just for Spotify. Which leads me nicely onto the next tip, which is promoting your music elsewhere other than just on Spotify itself. I'm sure you know this already, or you've seen other people do it. Promoting on short-form content apps like TikTok, Instagram, YouTube Shorts, and all of this stuff can really boost a song's success on release day. I'm sure it goes without saying that the more hype you can build around your release and the more people you can draw to your pre-save links will only ever increase your chances of being added to those Algorithmic playlists when the song finally drops. But creating the content is only one part of it. Sometimes I see people making the mistake of not further engaging with fans after they've had success with a particular piece of content. Make sure you're engaging with your fans to get them even more excited about the release, and if you're between releases, engaging with fans gets them excited for further releases. It's just a constant cycle of keeping people excited and engaged in you and your music. And I'm not going to get into the details of creating your content online. That's not what this video is all about. I'll leave that up to your creative brain. The fundamentals of this section is that pre-saves are really important, and if you can build that hype, get people to pre-save the song, that is going to increase your chances of triggering those algorithms. Now let me quickly hop back to the beginning of this video where we discussed the difference between editorial playlists and algorithmic playlists. Everyone always considers editorial playlists to be the holy grail of Spotify, where actually I have a case study in which algorithmic playlists played a much bigger part in the success of a single. So here are two singles that I released with Esme Denters in 2020, released about 4 weeks apart. One is on 109,000 streams, one is on 443,000 streams. Now, of course, there are many aspects that could go into why one of these songs did better than the other one. People might have just liked one of the songs more. But there was something interesting that happened when we released both of these songs, because they performed pretty similarly. They both actually achieved editorial playlist placements. Both were featured on New Music Friday playlists. However, there's one thing that this song Ruins did that Love Me the Same did not, and that's get featured on an algorithmic playlist called My Kitchen Stereo, which, as you can see, accumulated an extra 300,000 streams. So that clearly shows that although there's still loads of hype around editorial playlists, and I'll be honest, it feels great when you're added to one, algorithmic playlists are so important, if not more important, and can actually mean more success for your tracks overall. Alright, so before we wrap it up, if you want to get your hands on that Shure SM58 microphone, then leave your best Spotify related tips or comments in the comment section below, and we'll be picking one lucky commenter to win that Shure SM58. If you found this video helpful, please hit that thumbs up button and also consider subscribing to the Ditto Music channel to see more content like this. My name's Sean Reynolds, I'll see you again in the next video. Peace.